Okay, peace be upon you. We're gonna see what energy comes through. I should have done that beforehand, as usual. Very professional. Sorry. Okay. Ah. Did it. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful smell. Calms the spirit. Okay. Let's connect. Oh, blunt. So this deck was out. Let me check the mic. So we're gonna use this one. Pardon my voice. Okay, we're gonna do a wheel. The Fool. Oh, okay, Major Arcana, the Fool. Starting off well. The Eight of Swords. The Ten of Swords in reverse. Oh, okay. Okay. Not good. This is a Lenormand. It looks like tarot, but it's a different kind of an energy. This is my version of the wheel. Judgment. Three of Pentacles. Eight of Cups in reverse. Ace of Wands. Seven of Cups. And the Moon. Bottom of the deck, which will be the final outcome. Then we see the consequences of something you've done in the past. How all of this has unfolded. See where you're currently at. What's the stage and how the cycle concludes. Ace of Swords in reverse. With loss. I'm sorry. This concludes with the loss. Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. This concludes with the loss. The crowning event here is Judgment. There are so many things that are hidden or happening in the dark that you are not aware of. Either way, you will receive some pain or injustice here. You know the beautiful thing, it starts with a Fool. This speaks of a level of presence and authenticity that may actually stand out. That's the problem. You cannot be put in a box, defined, conditioned, intimidated, blackmailed, manipulated, because you don't want anything. This is the energy that's not moved by wants. It's all about presence and synchronicity, presence of spirit, of mind, instinct, faith, resourcefulness, being able to adapt, navigate, one step at a time. This is someone who is not stuck in a linear timeline, whereas they don't need to constantly define where they're at based on where they come from or where they go, but rather based on where they currently are. They don't look back, and in moving forward, every step is based on what they know to be, based on presence again and proper evaluation of one's current circumstances, opportunities, situation, and so on. It's self-awareness that leads to a kind of a level of detachment, whereas this is not someone who seeks neither validation nor confirmation, nor for anyone to make choices or think for them. Again, they're not easily indoctrinated or conditioned or manipulated, directed. So they're also out of that dichotomy of punishment and reward. Even though they may seem to be easily lured or controlled because of an apparent lack of resources, stability, any semblance of normality, right? One may think you just approach them, right? And you offer them something tangible, such as, I don't know, food, money, shelter, and they would just be willing to give up everything they are, everything they believe in, their worldview, their values, their principles, what moves them, their faith. No, they won't. Eight of Swords, criticism, judgment, not being understood, and not being surrounded by a support system or having people. As you can see, she's alone. So she's processing. She has to accept the current state of affairs, which is one whereas she's alone. Why? Because of some form of an injustice. Something that's being either done or said about her. Offense, defamation, accusation, so on and so forth. So there she stands, Ten of Swords, not knowing on what will come next, what to do next. She's not yet at that stage, this energy here. So now let's look, because I'm not going to be biased, even though I understand this dynamics here. To each is going to be a different outcome. So we do have judgment. So something is revealed, brought to the surface. The good, the bad, and ugly, but also the true. And someone is under adjudication, literally. The Three of Pentacles with the bear speaks of a mighty enemy. Or someone who feels as such. Someone who either has power or authority, or this can be an employer, a tyrannical or demanding husband, a toxic, or someone with narcissistic tendencies, and so on. So this speaks of something here. An attempt to liberate, overcome, leave something behind, transcend, right? To embrace something new that has failed or has been prevented. So this is the outcome of an attempt of setting oneself free. Then you met with judgment and a halt, something that you simply cannot defend yourself from. You're bound to lose if you were to fight a bear, right? Why? Because again, something or someone is trying to prevent you from moving forward. Ace of Wands. This will require a final, more determined, courageous decision to do it either way. Seven of Cups. It's all new for you. It's a stage or a season of exploration. Exploration. Again, everything comes to the surface. The moon and judgment. Two aces. Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Wands. Eight of Swords. Three of Pentacles. Somebody is definitely, obviously revealed as not being either trustworthy, either well disposed towards you, either. So indeed, you are not going berserk or cuckoo here. You're trying to process and realize that the situation is actually quite dire. That's why you're in the state. If you feel you've been betrayed, yes, you have. If you feel you've been disrespected, spoken about your behind your back, etc., etc., cheated, persecuted, betrayed, and in most cases, all these cards says yes. Say yes. So either way, you're gonna move forward anyway. This marks the beginning of a new chapter, one way or the other. We don't have the Tower here, so this has already happened. Again, exploration. Someone's generosity. Someone may actually choose to stick by you. Offer you either wise advice, but it has to be someone that you can actually genuinely trust, which is kind of hard to do because that's why you're in this situation. And yeah. The Three of Wands. Again, something is blocking your pathway. Oh. It's down, down, down. We have these ones. Let's take these ones. Oh, my hands are... Three of Wands is in reverse. Again, you have all the reasons to feel the way you do. Something has come to an abrupt halt. You may have dragged it along for a while. That's why you arrived at the Eight of Swords. You didn't get it the first time around. You let it slide the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, until you were surrounded, cornered. By what? Well, by deceit. Ace of Swords. Lies, deceit, corruption, persecution. To the point whereas it's almost, it's inconceivable. The things that were confided in you. I feel there was a messenger somewhere in you got to know something at one point. And you either referred or spoke of it, and that's what triggered the revelation of the enemy when you tried to confront them about it. So they knew that you knew, and that's what triggered. They already were strategizing. They knew they couldn't either deceive or corrupt you in any way. You were determined to move on your path. There was nothing that they could have said or done at this point. Even if you go with nothing, you're fine, just freedom. The Five of Swords, as I said. Something is not entirely over, though. And this deck is also black magic or evil intent. Sometimes you translate, you may be dealing with someone struggling with mental illness, who has taken action against you. Initially behind your back with the moon, creating lots of confusion, probably involving other people. So defamation, character assassination, smear campaign, so that you're isolated, so that they hold absolute power over you, as if you can do that to him. They're unpredictable. I believe that's what they kind of would use against you, because they think that since you don't really have anything that they would use against you per se, then yeah, it's character assassination, defamation, serious accusations and claims and so on. And they may get away with it up until a certain point, precisely because, again, you are a nonconformist, a free spirit. And it's easy to assume or presume anything about him. But in reality, no, it's not that easy. Because you just look at what they do. How they live their life, how they move on with their journey, and they're not doing anything. They don't want anything, they don't seek for anything, they're just enjoying their experience, carrying their cross on their own, living out their life. That's why they only have a dog here. 6 of Swords. Sword, 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 sword. The rats. Alas, yes, again. Someone in the 10 of Swords in reverse, there it is. Someone doesn't want you to put an end to something. Five into 6, rats. This is loss, illness, as I was saying, mental illness sometimes. Theft, great difficulty. The last will be, I'm going to say it, irretrievable, shocking, traumatic. Oh yes, because of greed, envy, avarice. 3 of Swords. I mean, what? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Absolutely shocking, yeah. 5, 6, 3 in reverse. This will affect you financially, physically, mentally, socially. And it's still unfolding, by the way. The door is still closed. You have to be strong, mentally especially, because these accusations may have you doubt even yourself, who you are, and don't go there. They're lying. You're not going to believe something that comes out of the mouth of a snake, are you? A predator, an enemy. You don't believe it. So don't go there, because if you lose hope and you start believing what they're saying about you, then you're in trouble. You cannot find a way out of this, and you need to on your own. Right? You need to move on your own. And this is the energy that's upcoming. I am a bit, shocked myself, because it's coming through like, wow, 3 of Swords in reverse. This is the kind of like a final blow. It goes beyond anything anyone may anticipate when it comes to the damage and the evil, and it's absolutely shocking. It's such a low blow. Very low. Flames on the heart. neutralizes the evil. This card neutralizes all of this. 5, 6. 5 is of swords, is the coffin, the rats, and the pig, all in reverse. An attack to your prosperity. So this is jealousy and envy. 7 of Pentacles. Never mind what was, right? The harvest, and neutralizes everything. One more. Okay, I was wondering, where's the 9? Yeah, there it is. 9 of Swords. 8 into 10, 9. In this sense, changes are upon you. Most beautiful of changes. Chariot is in reverse. 8 of Cups is in reverse. This is telling you, in case you risk of losing your job or losing your house, you're losing that it's going to be over soon. That's all I can tell you. You're going to be fine. I don't feel it's dependent on anything you personally may actually do. Not at all. I think there are events here that at this point you're feeling completely powerless about. But in reality, there's something bigger at play here. You shouldn't leave. You shouldn't go. Process this. Keep faith. Maintain a healthy mindset. Hope and positivity. Keep the passion going. Invest the energy rather in creative endeavors and so on. Keep the passion and the energy going. But yeah, the overall message is don't go. The Queen of Swords in reverse. Or is it? Justice, sorry. Justice in reverse. It's the same thing. Kind of in the sense of this Ace of Swords in reverse, right? As I said, an injustice committed to someone leading them to this state. The revelation of betrayal, of the ultimate transgression, the ultimate... Yeah. So, this is psychological violence, verbal violence, abuse, mental, psychological, and emotional. Because someone doesn't want someone to move forward. They don't care about the consequences of their action. Quite the contrary, this is vengeance. I would rather throw it all in the ditch rather than allow you to move forward. Injustice. False accusations, false claims. And as for that death energy, there it is. As I said, soon enough, something's going to happen. You see? Keep away from the person if you have physical contact with them. Cut any and all connections. Inform authorities. Not necessarily friends, because you don't have many friends. And even amidst authorities, not all of them will be able to help you. But you will find someone who can. The 10 of Cups. Life will return back to normal. There is a protector here, energy. Someone who will take your side. Will stand by you. Knight of Wands. So don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Something's going to happen. Something is coming to an abrupt end. There may be either lawsuits, again, smear campaigns, accusations, other people involved and so on. All of a sudden you will be faced with shame, with having all your life trashed in the market, as they say, and so on and so forth. And no wonder, because you've seen the cards. I'm going through the same thing myself. Obviously, we don't see anything for us. I don't know how my situation will unfold. It's all in Father's hands. But I will continue with protection for you. There is one, but I cannot put it public for obvious reasons. At least a share of the protection rituals, the banishing, one of them I actually posted it so that you connect with the energy. I know it's just gibberish because it's in old, archaic Transylvanian, but it doesn't matter. It's the energy. You don't have to see. We cannot share those things, even, verbal wise. But yeah, there it is, because I felt that since, as channels, as someone who opens up with intent to assist, you need to understand whom you're assisting. And it's not the first time that I'm being passed through the funnel myself, so that I can connect with something that's happening out there in the collective. Not all of it, but rather the spiritual family that I connect to, right? Or that they connect to me. So in order to assist those whom I'm called or supposed to assist, you have to connect with what they're currently traversing, especially when it's this powerful. And it's very hard to do, especially when you yourself are right in the midst of it and you have no idea on how to navigate it yourself. But then again, this is what we've been doing here all along. We practice what we preach. We seek practical application, and we don't stick to just, philosophy and love and light. And that's what we're aiming towards, of course. But yeah, we're going through the trials in order to rise back up, right? Conquer something. And no one does it for anyone else. Each of us carries their own cross, fights their own battles, and so on. But we share precisely in order to assist one another, help, encourage, support. So there will be an intervention, but it's not by you. It's by someone else. I can see why that Ace of Wands. You had one Ace upright, upcoming energy. It means someone will defend you. Someone is coming to your aid. It may be a foreigner, someone from a distance. And bring the end. Put an end to something. A restoration of both faith, hope, serenity, harmony, healing. But there are obviously other forces that are still working against you. In other words, someone is definitely fixated on making sure that you are harmed as much as possible. A victory at the bottom of the deck. So again, we can only pray for one another if we're going to hope for something to work. And it usually does, if from a pure heart and with actual pure intention. So protection and prayer for any of you who's going through the stage. We did warn about towers, but yeah, this is quite powerful. Again, there's no way to remedy your relationship or the connection or per se, but the loss won't be what you may perceive it currently to be. There's still something to be recovered, whether faith, serenity, tranquility, hope. You will recover it. And then there's rebirth, right? And since we have justice and death both right here, this may actually extend and mark a chapter for you that's about to begin. I give it, this should be over around July, and you have up until October into November to be already in this new transformative, completely new chapter of your life. Absolutely serene and harmonious, beyond your current wildest hopes or expectations. So you're gonna go basically almost into it as if, hey, I've conquered this. Yes, I'm a bit ruffled up, but thank goodness. There's that energy of the Fool, right? Thank heavens. Cannot wait to see what else is out there. So there will be less damage than you may think, and so on. It's painful currently, but revelation always is. This is a revelation, or having been able inadvertently to actually have an enemy confess their intentions because they were already scheming. But now we had them as the bear. There it is, standing right in front of you. So in that deck, it's actually a mighty enemy. So we have karma at play. Divine justice. You see the angel, as I said. Yes, it works through people, but karma from above. Right at the last moment when some form of an injustice has that final blow was given to you, and the consequences start being obvious in a very practical sense. You lose friends, you lose family, you lose, yeah. And if they didn't stick by you, you never had them to begin with. That's the painful revelation. It's making space for an entirely new chapter for you. This is rebirth. This chapter has to be over. You thought it was over when you decided to cut, but apparently someone didn't like you saying no. They've made other plans with you. And you don't have the freedom to say no, according to this energy. Who is it? We had justice there, so... But who is it? Who is it? So remember, alchemize. No matter what, maintain harmony, balance, use music, use dancing, connect with others, etc. With others that are no possible threat to you. So animals, children, the elderly, etc. Alchemize, focus on the good things, keep a positive mindset as much as possible. At the same time, allow yourself to be transformed by this pain, and you're not going to put your head in the sand or pretend, oh, it's all going to be fine. No, no, it's not. It's not fine. It's terrible what's happening. But yeah, justice is coming. So in other words, this will blow up in someone else's face. Don't you dare have mercy or compassion when that happens. Don't you even think about it. It's not yours to give. If divine justice is imparted, it means none of us gets to intervene in that sense. Who is it? I'm gonna pick up another deck, but the Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Three of Wands, again that energy. You try to come out of kind of a toxic dynamic here. You are in a close connection with someone. Emperor in reverse, a tyrant. Oh wow, yes, you cannot tell them no. You cannot just come out of it. In your case, is an actual masculine. This is a masculine. A tyrant husband, a tyrant ex-partner, someone who absolutely will do anything. They're literally out of their mind. Yep. Someone who thinks they have the power, the bear, the mighty enemy. Yep. Huge ego, magnanimous. There's no bigger ego than that. And they're saying, where are you going? Right? It's time for me to explore and continue. You're moving, whether emotionally. They felt you. They felt you. They were ready. And boom, blow. Where do you think you're going? You forget about, I invested in you. I gave you this. I was there, etc., etc., etc. Will you be able to go? Yes. Two of Wands. Two of Swords, 2-2. Again, it's still ongoing, the energy here. You did the right thing. Don't regret it. The moment you decided that it's done, it's over. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag. Most likely Aries with the Emperor over there. Okay. Yes, it's a King of Wands in your case. Wow. I'm so sorry. Again, healing, restoration, a rebirth, going north. Protection, guidance, inner balance, good health, dreams and visions, a wish come true. One way or the other, just keep that in mind. You see you reaching out for something, you're gonna get it. I know it looks like shit right now. You are gonna, that dream, the desire in your heart, it's now a genuine need, as in, it's a birthright, literally. You know you're ready for it. You know you've paid for it. You know it's going to be yours. Yes, it's going to be yours. In this case, might translate as literal freedom. The Fool. The freedom to express yourself. The freedom to do whatever you please. Be whomever you choose to be, and so on. Freedom, 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 freedom. Temperance in reverse. Sage energy there. And the Tower, there it is. Vengeance energy. Something needs to come down, absolutely. The Tower, in certain decks, I can actually also represent someone who is capable of harming someone, not just mentally or spiritually, but also physically. Circumstances that put someone in danger, risking their whole of the foundations, and because this happened, because of someone trying to check out emotionally, taking their power back, the Fool, taking their heart back, following their intuition in their heart. But little did you expect that this would be the blockage, the conflict. Initially may have been verbal, right? And then it was an actual clash. Someone blocking your way again. Three of Wands, Two of Swords, Two of Wands. Someone being this cruel. What did we say? So again, the cycle is still ongoing. You see the ending. It's obvious. It's all going down in disaster. Don't worry. Don't worry. This doesn't mean you're not going to get what's rightfully yours, what you worked hard for. It's going to be yours. You know it in your heart. That serenity, that peace, that harmony, love, you will have it. But this, all of this has got to go. You know what I feel strongly in this Tower card? That it's not you who built that tower. Someone else did and entrapped you in it. Set yourself free, loves. You did well. I guess that's what you try to do. You never tell someone this dangerous to their face, right? So I guess you did try to use some tact, but at one point you may have just abruptly yourself decided, no, this is not right. Temperance, right? This is not equal here, right? So you said, There was the realization of, not connecting with the person anymore. So no hatred, no nothing. You just had to cut the person out of your life. Either because of deceptiveness, humiliation, whatever. Just toxic pattern. So this is what you're paying for having finally made that decision to set yourself free. Lion. Time to act. That Ace of Wands comes back to mind. Knight of Wands energy. Tower. This is an enemy, right? It's a clash, basically. But you yourself have the same spirit within you. Your motivation is different. You're defending yourself. Can you do so on your own at this point? No, because of the manner in which they exert so much control and they surrounded you. It's too late. They've been strategizing. They were ready. They moved really fast. You're stuck there now. Then again, you feel that you may blame yourself for not having cut this person a lot sooner. If this is a counterpart, which the Emperor is usually is, it can also be an employee. I'm sorry, I'm babbling a lot. I'm struggling to convey, but it can be an employer, someone in a position of authority or power that they're abusing, basically, because they got triggered. That's kind of what happens when you trigger someone that has a power that does not belong to them, or that they're misusing, or that do not rise up to the worthiness and responsibility that it implies. In other words, this is someone who could have had it all, but they failed. They were unworthy of the gifts bestowed unto them. They've misused them. It's egoism. It's, again, mental illness, addiction, aggression, violence. They go around destroying people's lives. Why? Because they can. Whom do they destroy? The delicate, the gentle, the vulnerable, the open, the authentic. In a spiritual sense, we know why this happened. It's the old dichotomy, it's the old dynamics in between. Some would call it the empath and the narc, right? Or the sociopath. It's natural. Prey predator. And again, they may have underestimated your claim to freedom and authenticity. God-given freedom. Especially because we see nothing here to actually reveal on why this would happen. What we do see is someone that abuses something, either information, power, influence, or rather someone, which is you, because they have no respect for you, nor do they have a good opinion of you, nor would they ever even expect you to fight back, or at least not crumble the moment that they come as that mighty bear enemy, right, and reveal their face. So basically, this is someone who just gives an order once, you're supposed to abide to your knees, as if the fool is ever going to worship anyone else but God, however that translates for them. No human can command a fool, not that fool, at least. So, 0, everything comes back to circle. We spoke about gestation, then we had the moon right there. Gestation, this is also Leo energy here in reverse, a tyrant, yes. Someone who seeks for vengeance, just out of spite, hatred, jealousy, envy. And probably, again, the chit-chat, you see, gossiping, spreading out false information about you and so on. So, what happened ultimately is no longer relevant. As much as possible, if you can, try not to get stuck in the mind of analyzing, reanalyzing. Weak spirits, this is what they do. They abuse the vulnerable. But obviously they were shocked themselves, hence the magnitude of their reaction, to see that you actually did ultimately see them for who they were, but I believe it's rather to do with your own process with that 8 of Swords. You just wanted to set yourself free in order to start in that full energy, a new chapter. So you're making decisions based on your own needs and personal wishes and dreams and desires. Only then you realize, wait a minute, they're not going to let me go, are they? Yes, they will, one way or the other. Courage, bravery, don't give up. Stand strong, don't interact with this person. Inform authorities. There will be someone who will stand for you. Yes, it's the breaking of ways from a tyrannical, heartless kind of a masculine, emotionally manipulative, draining, vampirical in the sense of draining your energy. I always said that this is a cruel masculine because they don't have a heart or a conscience. Anyone can say stupid things. In this case, there is no turning back, and this cannot be remedied. Nor do I feel you're trying to, per se. But no amount of talking will do anything. So rather, understand that this great divide now, and all that you can do is continue in moving in that direction. Yes, the challenges are many, but don't give up on the dream. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Yeah, I mean, things are changed, but you are not changed. You still want that, and you're going to get it. Just have to move past the trials now. Okay? And I'm not saying pretend that this is not happening to you. I'm just saying there are authorities, there are forces at work. You've done nothing wrong here. I don't see anything other than constantly being prevented, blocked. Someone just wants to put a halt And even at the cost of your own demise, one way or the other. If you, this is the energy of, if you don't do what I say, if you're not with me, then very dangerous. So don't interact, and again, inform authorities. Maintain positive attitude. See in the revelation who's with you and who's going to assist you and who's not. Don't take it too personally. Everybody's making decisions. You are on your own currently. Process it and let it go. Soon enough, there will be an intervention that's going to help you overcome this and return to your serenity. Okay? I hope this helps you. This is crazy that I actually had to read this energy as I'm struggling and battling the same thing myself. Wow. Wow. Of course, for me, it's rather more complicated because, well, it's a gang now of people, so it's no longer just about being stalked. Or it's literally, I don't know how many people. And the worst is still to come, obviously, because now we're going to see the consequences of what this person did. And there's no way to control it. You know, when you release a rocket and once it's gone, there's nothing you can do about it. That's what, okay, I guess we could control it from a distance, but in this case, no. There are things that cannot be undone for a reason. They're powerful, they're important, and they're transformative. They bring the tower down. So once the lightning strikes, or once the fire is past the point, no one gets in anymore. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to let it crumble. It's exactly what I'm doing. Whatever needs to crumble will crumble. I stay present, though. I'm not going to be conditioned by what was or what could be. Just presence. I have no plans here. And neither do you. And I guess that's what we have in common. In your case, it's rather more personal because this was, well, different kind of a connection. And you're dealing with someone who, beyond their delusion of power, they actually do have it. Yet they still choose to act cowardly, and their weakness is revealed. All their vulnerabilities and their true nature, basically. Help is coming. We have a masculine presence. This can also be the energy of a feminine that seems to support you. This can be a mother-like energy, a sister-like energy, a close friend, someone that feels like, well, a childhood friend, right? Like someone you can trust. And there seems to be support here, or at least moral. So you may seek for advice for a mature feminine and emotional support. Just be careful not to involve anyone else, because this person will stop at nothing. They will try and destroy everything you love, everything that you could ever love or care for or believe in, or even your trust in yourself, in God, in humanity, in justice. And if that happens, oh, the shock. There's the shock, the unpleasant surprise that brought this tower down. It already happened, by the way. Spiritual love in reverse. Oh, wow. You couldn't even defend yourself here. There's no truth. There's nothing here. There's just loyalty, the Four of Pentacles. Again, stick to yourself. Stay strong. You have a pure heart. Don't lose faith. Remember the Fool? The Fool has the dog, right? You're not alone. Remember the dog in the Fool card. You're not alone. You have enough. There's also the gift. You're going to make it. Wow, I'm just all over the place because I'm trying not to be biased. We don't receive guidance, by the way, so it's not for me. But I kept being smacked with it, and I said, wow. So you're going to make it. We, on this other end, Father knows, shall live and see. This is not about winning or losing, though, is it? It's not. We either all do or nobody does. The loss is always painful, but it's the price, the sacrifice for change. So, something goes, something better comes to take its place. The Fly, a period of ill health and depression. Again, I warned you, careful about your mind space. Alchemize. When you were at your lowest, I blasted some music. I went back, I always go back to my favorites, FT Island or some klezmer or whatever. But today it was FT Island because I didn't even realize they put out a new song. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know, I'm deaf in my left ear, but I still hear certain noises. So I put my earphones in, blast it as loud as possible, just to make sure I hear it, I feel it as much as I can, at least with my right ear. And yeah, it just alchemizes everything, and it's just music, you know. Because if there will be a stage, obviously, when I can go back to a different kind of a music, but right now that's what I need. Tomorrow I'm gonna put some, I don't know, even music that I don't actually really like per se, but it's just joyful. It has the right vibration, like Manele. It's a style, it's kind of like gypsy music mixed in with sometimes more pop, modern, and so on. Sometimes folklore. Because we have the season now where everybody's listening to traditional, you know, Easter music, Christian Orthodox, mixed in with the folk regional music. But it's way too sad for me. I cannot do it. New home, new attitude. Told ya, you're gonna be fine. Are they changes here? Yes, absolutely. Major changes. And you are not even allowed to see how they will unfold. I'm just saying, please don't lose hope. If you do, they win. Because that's what they're after. That's what they're moved by. For you, it's not about winning or losing. It's about freedom, truth, justice, love. And I know how painful it is, because you may have attempted to avoid this conflict. You've compromised, right? You tried to avoid it, but there it is. You cannot avoid what is meant to happen, so don't beat yourself too much over it either. New job or career for those that are struggling against a tyrant when it comes to work or some financial institution, or again, new. It's all new. It's all. And you know what? Do you see this? Yes, it's a pen, but it can also be the needle in the haystack, and so on. The needle, yeah. But it's also about crafts and creativity. Back to that Ace of Wands. There's so much to say here. Why? Because I see the broom, and this is hay and hay. Needle in the haystack. Anyway, never mind. Did we say it or did we not say it? The fortune has just turned for you. Yes, it's chaos. Yes, it's almost like a spiritual death of some sort. But it's revealing also everything that you've actually managed to overcome. Now, all of the past traumas, the pain and disappointment, all throughout your journey, all of those chapters, this is the moment that you can finally close that book entirely. You integrate them all at once. You've been processing them all throughout your journey. Some you've managed to find a way to accept them, some reasoning, some explanation, because time also gives you so many opportunities to just see things from a different perspective, or see the blessings and the fruits that were hiding in those things that otherwise you may have carried as a failure, or they may have translated as you defining yourself based on something someone said or has done to you, or even your own quote-unquote mistakes and choices defined as such, and And with time, you just see, oh, that thing led to this one, because, it's like seed, they sprout slowly as we move, progress. And so this is the same lesson here. It's almost as if a seed is planted now, and it needed the purest, the cleanest soil to be planted in, purest essence of who you are. So all the layers of all the false perceptions and lies and deception, whether within you or those in your life or in your dreams and wherever you guided your efforts, and they all had to go. So now you became almost as if, cornered, helpless, But that's where Father plants the most fruitful of seeds, gives the most beautiful blessings. Because that's where faith is tested. It's when you finally are in a position whereas you return to Him. All you have is Him. That's when He can speak to your heart. That's when He can renew you, instill all the faith and strength and clarity within you. But timeline-wise, again, it will unfold as you move forward. So much like the Fool, it doesn't matter ultimately how this will unfold. Just know that it will unfold exactly as it should be. Be fine with whether loss or failure, because none of those will ever really, truly have the power to define someone who has tried their best to be as true and authentic to whatever self they were at any given time. They stayed in the heart. They weren't moved by mere desires or self-fulfillment or fear, or even if it was there, you didn't allow it to make decisions for you as much as possible, right? So your intention was always to do the right thing. And now you've met with the mighty enemy, externalized, in someone that has no problems, no morals, no values, no God, no faith, in betraying the very person that they claim they love most in the world. It's the ultimate trial. So, do you forgive an enemy? You don't have to. You don't. That's a misconception. You don't have to. Things are what they are. Do I try to eat the potato raw? Am I judgmental because I'm frying the potato? Am I judgmental because I'm not frying it, or I'm cooking it this way, or I'm... A potato is a potato. I will not redefine it. I can transform it. I can, the same way we do with our gestures, our actions. If our intentions are there, we can always seek to improve someone else's life. But do we truly, genuinely control it when it comes to relationships and people? A duck is a duck. I'm not going to ask you to bark. The same way you don't demand from yourself here, or you no longer try or attempt to harm yourself by being something that you are not, betraying yourself first and foremost, your beliefs, your virtue, your values. You've conquered virtue, and now it's being tested. The final test. You're being punished for your virtues, not your sins, because only people punish. God corrects. And that's divine justice. Blessings. May you be healed, sealed, guided and protected on your path. Okay, let me look at an affirmation. I wanted to pick another Sibylla. But I am safe because there's nothing within me that I should fear. Wow. Now this message, I'll take it for... Can I keep something for myself? This is mine. I keep it for myself. Consider that abundance is natural in life. If you believe in lack, you will live in fear. Like the emperor over here. Do you know where he is currently, spiritually, energetically, mentally, and fear? This is the ultimate level of hell, when you fall from on high in the physical, right? Whereas you were granted something that you were supposed to cherish, and you misuse it, right? Or you abuse it. Therefore, this person betrayed themselves to a point whereas the only thing that they can experience now is fear. Do you know why the Fool doesn't have fear? Not because there are not situations that he should be more wary of and recognize, problems, challenges, etc. He does. But why not fear? The Fool has nothing. They claim nothing. They pursue nothing specific, so therefore they have nothing to lose. No one can take their soul from them. And they're not willing to give up on it either. So, what are you going to do to a fool? Nothing. So again, that contrast. Do you know what it reminds me of? The other kind of a fool, the jester in court, which is the only one that can actually tell the truth to an emperor. Is that what you did? Ace of Swords in reverse. Justice in reverse. They gaslit you, right? Threw it back in your face. Said, you horrible person. You spoke the truth. You dared to confront the self-proclaimed, all-powerful, mighty. And indestructible. Someone who played God and lost at their very game. So again, there's no going back. Someone is falling in disgrace or reveal themselves to be the opposite of what they could have or what they appear to be. Power corrupts, doesn't it? That's why most of us do not seek for it. There's no such thing. There's only responsibility. So the ultimate downfall is claiming power only to misuse it and realize that you never had it to begin with. This is fear. This is the final level of hell. I know it should look like the madman, the one struggling with addiction, the one, no. Look at those higher up in high places. Yeah. From that place, it's one step, one terrible choice, straight to the bottom of the hell, because you were granted responsibility and you failed. This is ultimate failure. It's again, if it's a duck and it starts barking, then, well, starts looking a bit weird, right? Everybody's going to question the whole of reality and what the fuck is going on here, because we recognize a transgression. Almost, let's speak about it, cliche, Matrix. And we start seeing that, okay, the code has been corrupted. Yep. There's a transgression. Because natural laws never fail. Then again, we are here as humans exercising free will. And this is what happens when we do. When we do so with evil intent. Because of our inability to overcome egoism. So in other words, they're getting their opportunity to get over themselves, but that's on them. It's not your problem. Just don't let resentment, hatred, all of that, fear, don't let it in your heart. Because look at what it's done to them. Take good care of yourselves. May you be healed, sealed, guided and protected on your path. I already said it, I know. Let's see the heart. And I'll let you go. I'm sorry, it's a bit chaotic, but I'm sick, so... If you want to experience a deeper level of love in your relationship, you must both consciously and willingly surrender to one another. Feel and honor the sacred within each other. Be vulnerable and give yourself up to love each and every moment. In doing so, you will unite in love. You will feel alive, reborn with each breath. One loving thought can create a world of infinite love. What's the main word here? We spoke about it. How do we recognize love? Both. It means reciprocity, alignment. There is none here. So again, you cannot lose things that were never there. They may have appeared to be, but ultimately they failed the test of time. They failed to rise up to what it could have been, right? It's like saying, hey, I took the exam, so therefore I got the diploma. No, you didn't, right? No, we didn't. So we have our own share of tests and trials and challenges and exams that But we always seek to see what we've learned from it. So that's how growth is achieved. Whereas others simply cannot take a no for an answer. Because for them, again, it's about winning, whatever that fucking means. But yeah, anything but what they're supposed to be winning at, being what they were created to be, fulfilling their task according to divine will. You are a blessing and a light unto the world. The world wouldn't be complete without you. I pray you are restored and you have an experience that's, which I saw for you, by the way, that's a clear reflection of who you are and what you've conquered. May you be rewarded for all your sacrifices. So there's upcoming friendship and again healing, prosperity. This prosperity is not about having more. It's about having enough. And we should always, in the present, seek to stay in that gratitude. Take good care of yourselves. I'm sorry, I know it's chaotic, but I felt called to, and there it is. We never know tomorrow, so we do what we can today. Shalom.